Hi there, this is John Barton from JB Cases. So this video we're going to talk about how to clean your case. I'm going to do this without like water or solvents or anything like that. We're just going to talk about like pulling it out, brushing it, vacuuming it, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of discussion online about how to clean your case, the best way to clean the interior, and so on. There is, there are things that you can do, but there are some myths that persist in whether or not chalk is down inside of a case or not. So with that in mind, I've got a couple little things I want to show you. So here we go as far as how to clean your case. So a couple things real quick. For JB cases specifically, so I'm not really talking about other types of cases, okay? Some of the things I say might apply to some other types of cases. But for the purpose of this video, I'm talking about specifically JB cases and what I would do, what I consider the best way to clean them, per se, okay? So we need to distinguish between two types of JB case builds. The one that is, I'm sorry, I'm kind of lost my train of thought. The one that's most important is that's hardest to clean, so to speak, are the cases where the interior does not come out. So I'm going to give you an example of that here. Like this case right here, for example, if I reach in and I pull on the interior, so you grab a handful of the interior like this, just reach your fingers in and grab it, and you pull on it, and see how I'm putting my hand here so I can get some leverage? It will not come out. Okay, so it's firmly in there, it does not come out. That is because this type of interior is secured here and here at the bottom, and it can't come out. So the only way to take this interior out is to actually take the bottom off, take the sleeve off the case, undo the security, pull it out, and then you've got it. So it's a fairly involved process. Now, starting about 2 years ago, a year or so ago, I started doing the interiors. I created a way to make the interiors easily removable. And that's what you see here. This is an easily removable one. Now, we've been doing that for longer with the leather cases. So a lot of you that have leather cases where they're top loading like this, any top loading case like this right here, if you have a leather case that's top loading, you'll find that you can reach in and easily pull the interior out, and this is what it looks like. So the interior is the same in both types of cases. So this is exactly what it is in the other type where it's not removable. It's just longer and it folds over the tube and it's secured. The protection is exactly the same. The interior works exactly the same. The only difference is, and this is a major difference, especially in light of what we're talking about, is that if there's a problem with the interior, the removable ones make that problem easy to solve. So for example, this case right here belongs to one of our sponsored players, Chip Compton. And the other day, a week or so ago, a beer was spilled into it. So it is not a removable interior. So therefore, for me to fix this, I have to take the whole case apart, take the interior out, put a new one in, and so on. So I've elected just to keep this case and make him a new one instead of going through all that work. But if his new case has the same sort of problem, he'll just be able to take the interior out and put a new one in, and that's that. So that's the advantage of having the removable interiors the way that we build them. Okay, but so what do you do if you don't have that interior? So a couple things. People say, for example, that the interior gets dirty. They see a very dirty interior. I'll show you one. See if you guys can really see this inside and see how dirty it is. It may not even look that dirty on the screen, but let me see if I can show you another one here. Here, this one's pretty dirty. And I'll show you for comparison purposes, I'll show you a new one. Okay, let's find a new one that has a red interior so you guys can really see this. This is what a new one looks like. So you can see how nice and clean that looks. Okay, so there's no doubt that interiors, it's fabric. There's no doubt that it can get dirty. But see here, this one's actually okay. But what I want to show you is this. So we're going to take this interior here. This case is about 4 years old. This interior was about 4 years old. It came out of a 4-year-old case. And you can see for yourself that, again, that it's pretty dirty in there. But what I want to show you, at least what I hope to show you here, is that most of the filth and the dirt and everything that you see here, the soiling is here in the top. It's not below the cavities in here. So the actual cavities where the cues go in, those tend to remain pretty clean based on the cases that I've dissected. So it's not like when you put your shaft in here that your shafts are getting dirt from the case itself. No, your shafts are dirty because they're dirty before you put them in the case, not from the case itself. So they're not like picking up dirt from the case. However, you can vacuum the case. You can, and that's what I'm going to show you in a moment. You can kind of get some of any of the dirt out of there. And if you have this type of interior, you can actually reach in and pull it out up to here. So you can see this. See how dirty that is? So you can pull that out and you can actually clean that off. You can hand clean it, for example, run it in a sink and hand clean it. We've tried to put them in washing machines. I haven't found a good way yet to do it where you can put them in where it doesn't deteriorate the foam rubber on the outside here. So if you guys happen to find a good way to do it, tell me. But it's not under warranty if you put them in the washing machine and you destroy the foam rubber that's on the outside here. That foam rubber backing is what protects the cues from the sides of the tube. So you definitely don't want to disintegrate it, okay? But you could take this out to here and run it through some water and stuff and, kind of hand wash it and then just let it dry, and then that would take care of that. But let's open this up and see what's inside real quick, and we'll see what we can see, and then we'll try to vacuum it and see what we can see here. Okay, so with this in mind, let's go ahead and cut this open. I'm doing this on video because I want to show you guys this isn't doctored stuff. This isn't. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece at the bottom. Now, the reason that this is like this and sealed at the bottom is twofold. One is it stops the cues from going any further, but the other part is it attaches to the Velcro at the bottom, so that the interior doesn't pull up. Okay, so look at this. We pulled a hairband out of here for some reason, so interesting. So let's take a look at this and see what we can see here in the bottom. So give me a second while I take this off. You'll see all kinds of dust and stuff coming out here from this. So this is and I'm just going to tell you, this is for example a mistake on our part. Back when we made this case, apparently we sewed this in, and you can see how it's disintegrated here on the bottom, like 4 or 5 years ago. So we didn't take two pieces of fabric and stick them together so that the foam rubber had no influence in here. So you can see that there's foam rubber in the bottom here. So I'll make sure to make a point of that and say something, but that's not what we do now. So we learn. But anyway, let's take a look at the case itself beyond that and see what we can see in the bottom here. So I'm going to get rid of some of that. So that's a mistake on our part, you know, like that stuff. You never want to have that little foam rubbers, even if they never damage anything or do anything, they're just annoying. But you can see here, they never really made it to the top anyway. So that's not that big of a deal, but it's not something that should have been done. But anyway, what we want to look at here is we want to look at in the shaft holes on the side of this case. So this is a 4x8. These 4 holes are for the butts, and these 4 holes are for the shafts on the sides. So we're going to open up the shaft holes here on the side, and we're going to look and see if there's any dirt or debris. How does it look inside the shaft holes here? So let's take a look. Let's cut one open. Here, I'll pick one on the side here. We'll pick this one. And I'm just going to cut right in the middle of it. Okay, so here I've cut this open, and I want to show you that it doesn't exhibit any dirt or debris or anything like that inside of here. Now you can see this case is 4 years old. You'll notice that all the way down here there's nothing really. Look at it. Here, let me see if I can get this really good so you guys can see it. So that's starting at the bottom, and we'll go all the way through to the top. Let me back up a little so it's not so much in your face. Come on, autofocus, do your thing. There we go. Up. Okay, so you'll notice that none of that in there looks like this, right? So it's not dirty like it looks like here. So where does this dirt come from? Where does the dirt and soiling that you see in here come from? Well, it does come from the cues. So, you know, your cues are going to get dirty. They're going to get soil. Everything that you touch goes on your cue. And then when you put your cue in here, if it rubs against any part of this, the dirt that was on your cue is going to rub off onto the fabric here. But here's the kicker with this. Check this out. Let me grab a shaft real quick and I'll show you what this looks like. All right. So here I have a shaft, right? That has chalk on it. Sorry, if I look like this, it's because I'm looking at a bigger monitor to make sure that I'm centered. So here's what happens when you put the shaft in. The shaft will go into the hole here. So which one are we going? We're going for this one right here. So this right here. See if I can get that. There you go. We can see it. See the little bit of light in there? All right. So what happens is the shaft goes inside, and you'll notice that because the shaft is tapered, it's kept centered by the foam rubber. So you'll notice there it's barely touching all the way down. I'm going to put my hand here so you guys can see what happens when it goes in. See, it's not even falling all the way down because of the foam rubber. But you'll notice right there that through the entire length of the shaft, right there, I'm going to hold it at the top here so I can do this. For the entire length of the shaft here, there's really no debris and no dirt that can affect it, because everything that was on the side of the tip right there is off in the first few inches. So when the cue goes in, if you'll notice, especially if it goes in this way, see, nothing can hurt it as it goes in. I'm going to drop it. It's kind of hard to do here to show you guys this, but I'm going to drop it in. And this is with me even bending it, you notice? So with that in mind, you can see that the shaft can't really touch anything on the side. There's nowhere for the chalk to go but to stay on the tip. So the only place where chalk can accumulate is actually at the bottom of the case. That's it. And that's kind of where you'd want chalk to be, because think about it this way. If your tip is hitting there, it's kind of getting chalked if there's extra chalk there. So it's either leaving chalk or getting chalk. But otherwise, all along the length of this, there's nothing there. So you don't really have to worry about, even though it might look dirty in here, below this point right here, you don't have to worry about it. There's nothing that's going to make your shaft dirty in there. Now, if you take your shaft and you put it the other direction, so if you're like me, sometimes I like to have my shafts the other direction. Obviously there, same thing. There's nothing there that can harm your cue. And then your shaft stays like this. See that? So your shaft stays like that. And of course, as you can see, you know, it could rub off a little bit of the chalk, whatever chalk was on the edge of the shaft here, could rub off on the side of the case in here. But other than that, there's not going to be any dirt or debris below this point right here where these cavities are. So below this level right there, there's nothing. So if we take it and we do it again, here, I'll put it in here now this way so you guys can see it from the top. See, when we put that in, there's nothing below that level, and I'll pull it down. And there it is. See, that's way down in there too. So normally it won't go that low. Normally your shaft is going to stop right about there, or sorry, a little bit lower. Right about in there. So you'll see there's nothing that can hurt it. So that's dispelling the myth that there's anything inside that can dirty up your cue. Okay, there's really not. And then if we go to the butt section on there, same thing applies here. Let me find a butt that we can use here and show you. The same thing applies here on the butt section. Now this is obviously, we talked about dirt and grime and everything. So obviously if the butt of your cue is dirty, like, you know, you've been sweating a lot and you got a lot of dirt collected here and you got some dirt collected here, whatever, for whatever reason, obviously if you put that in here like this, then the squeeziest part, all right, the part with the most foam rubber right here, is going to be the part where that dirt is going to rub off. Any loose dirt is going to want to rub off right there. But here's the thing. Same thing in reverse. As you put this in, it gets right below this point. There's nothing in there that can hurt the cue. There's nothing in there that's squeezing on the cue and collecting dirt inside of the butt portion of the interior. So let's take a look at that just to be sure. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up one of these butt sections right here. So we'll take this one. Find one here. Okay, here we go. So I'll cut that up. Okay, so here we've cut this up, and now we can look and see that there you go. So we have a little bit, just it looks like maybe a little bit of soiling right here, right in through here. Let's look at the rest of it. What do we got? So a little bit more right through there. And this is a well-used case, by the way. This case has been like really used and abused, so to speak. But there you go. I mean, that's barely anything, to be honest with you. So take a look at it. Let me open it up. Let me really get it open so you can see it. From the bottom all the way up to the top here. Now you compare what you're seeing here. Compare that. Let me make sure you guys can really see it. So compare that to what you see here. Okay, so I'm sorry, let me stretch it out a little bit so you can still see it. So compare that to what you can see in here. See what I'm saying? So in my mind, this is really clean inside of here. Even if there's a little bit of soiling right there, like right in here, it's still super clean right in here. So there's really, to me, there's really nothing in there that's going to dirty up the cue. Plus, you got to remember that the cues, you have to remember that cues, like the butts of cues, are all finished, right? So anything that goes on there, basically any dirt or debris that's actually inside the sleeve has come off of the cue, which has like a glass-like finish on here, as opposed to the shaft, which has open pores, and is rubbed off onto the cloth rather than the cloth onto the cue, so to speak. So there's nothing really that can harm the cue in that sense inside the cavity. Now, having said all of that, let's go ahead and try to clean one up and see what we get. So here I have a vacuum attachment. This thing is this is something that I saw on AZ Billiards, and it's called a dust shark. It's for the lint for your dryer. It's for your dryer. It's called a let's see here what they call that thing. Well, that was good. I see, I'm really prepared for this. Okay. This is called a dust lizard, is what it's called. This is it was like $49 or something like that. I think I overpaid for it. But I wanted to buy it just to try it. Somebody suggested on AZ Billiards that we could try it. So anyway, it came with this really flimsy hose right here, and it came with this this attachment, so you could basically take any vacuum, and you could attach it to pretty much any vacuum hose on here. And then what happens is you're supposed to put this on here, and so that fits on there right like that. Then you got this hose. Now the hose itself is super flimsy and it flattens out really easily. So you'll notice it's already flat here. And when you flip it on, this here, the hose flattens out. Within the suction. So the hose flattens out with any suction, so that's no good, okay? However, forget about this hose, and you can go and buy yourself like some PVC. So we have these little PVC pieces that we use for the spacers on our case. So this is just basically electrical tube. Now what I did is I took a piece of it and I cut a slanted part on there, and I took a piece of that hose right there, and I just kind of duct taped it right here. So let's see if you guys can see that. Okay. Now you can take that and you can put it on here. Now you, honestly, you don't need this piece right here. This whole thing right here. You can go and with some tubing and you know, go to the hardware store and just take a part of your vacuum and then walk around, and you'll figure out what you can easily do to make a piece like this. Now this PVC piece is short because I don't have any longer pieces here to show you. But I would get a longer piece, you know, and then just tape it to the hose here, and there you go. So first what I want to show you though is vacuuming out the tube. Let me pull one here. So this one here, that one there, you can see some dirt in there. You can kind of see some debris in there. So let's take a look. See it even, the thing is the lighting makes it look even better than it is, but it's got some dirt in there. So we're gonna vacuum it out here. I'll see if I can hold it up this way. See if you can see the dirt in there. See, this is like this part right here this part right here, these two cavities, you can actually see in there. It looks kind of grimy down into the tube. So if you were able to really see it, see if we can see a real good better job of it. It looks, you can definitely see that it looks dirty in there. So let's take our little device here and vacuum it and see how it comes out. So we'll do one side. Okay, so obviously I'm in an awkward position to do it, but let me take a look here and look down here and see what it looks like. So already it looks a lot better right there. I don't even know if you guys can really tell whether that looks better or not. But this side right here, over here, this side right here is the side that I just vacuumed. Right there. Here. Looks like we're backwards on here. I can't tell. Right here. This is the side I just vacuumed. And that's the side that I didn't. So maybe it's hard to tell that right there, but it actually helped a lot. And it looks a lot better in there. So that's what you want to do. You can get in there with a vacuum attachment and really kind of make it look a lot better. Right in there. So here, let me do the whole side right here real quick. You can see what that looks like. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to do it like big, right, with this piece. And I'm going to get up as much as I can with that piece. You don't want to press too hard, okay? Don't kill it. Okay, so that looks a lot better inside there. Yeah, that's definitely looking better. So now I'm going to take the little piece, okay? I'm going to stand back here to do it so you guys can kind of see a little bit better what I'm doing. Let me lean that up there for a second. Okay, so now we're going to take this attachment here, this attachment dealie, and I'm going to really go to town on it inside and see if we can make it look a lot better, okay? All right, so now let me take a look and see what it looks like in the light here. Yeah, that looks a lot better inside there. So I don't know if you guys can really tell that. Let me push this down a little bit more to squeeze it back down, but I don't know if you can tell that it looks better or not, but it looks a lot better just from vacuuming inside there. So my suggestion is definitely get a vacuum attachment or make your own little vacuum attachment that you can get in there. Now, I would not recommend a brush. You don't want to really fuzz up the fabric. You don't want to give any chance of hooking on anything or leaving any bristles inside. But just vacuuming alone with the smallest vacuum or making a little attachment, that really works well for this. So this actually, I mean, it's actually really hard to see on here. Let me see if I've got a flashlight. Maybe that'll be easier for you guys to see it. But hold on one second. I want to show you like how nice it really looks inside. I wish I'd done it with a flashlight before so you could see it. But let me see if I can find a flashlight here and show you. Where did I put my flashlight? Not in there. Okay. Maybe the phone. Let's see if the phone will do it. Can I turn on the flash? Will it allow me to do that? Nope. Okay, somewhere in here in the building I've got a flashlight. I know that for sure. I'll be right back. Okay, great. Got a flashlight. So check this out. Look at this inside here, if you can really see it. Come on, autofocus. So that looks really nice in comparison to the way it was. It was really grimy inside. So let me see if I can find another one here that's grimy too and show you. Let's look and see this one here. See, this one's still good, so it's hard to tell. All right, let me find another one. Let me see. What about this? Okay. Man, some of these really smell awful. That's another thing. Smell, by the way, you can take like dryer sheets and stuff like that and put them in here, and it'll help get the smell out of it. You can do like baking soda, wrap like baking soda in something that won't let the baking soda out, but it'll absorb the smells and the odors. I don't recommend spraying Febreze or any kind of liquid into the case. So, I'm trying to show you guys, see if you can see how the dirt in here. Sorry about the I don't know why I can't get it autofocused in there. But it's got a little bit of dirt right in here, like right up at the top there. Very little here. Very little in the shaft holes in there. So this one's really not even worth doing. So basically, just trust me when I tell you on the other ones, it's better to vacuum them. And if you have one with a removable interior, you can pull it up, like I showed you a moment ago. You don't even have to take it all the way out of the case, but you can pull it up like this, and you can take it all the way out, but you can pull it up like this and get to it, so you can easily vacuum off all these parts here and you can easily get to all the different holes and cavities in here to be able to vacuum it and clean it. Now keep in mind, like I said, you can pull the whole thing out. This is what it looks like when it's perfectly new. And as I said, you can pull this through here. Be gentle with it, okay? Don't be too hard on them. You can pull that up, and if there's any dirt or anything around here or right inside here, you can easily get to them right there to clean it. And as I said, you can also just clean that with water, a little bit of hand soap, whatever. You just want to make sure you don't really want to use a lot of soap, okay? I would try just water first, just kind of water it, clean it, warm water, clean it up, then let it dry really well, and you should be okay with that. So, but I would just do vacuuming first. I mean, I really wouldn't use water. I really would not use any kind of liquid inside the case, water, soap, anything, because I don't want to leave any residue in there. Water probably generally okay, but even water has little minerals in it, little things like that, deposits that can be left behind when it dries. So vacuuming, just vacuum, and you're going to get pretty much everything out of there. If there's any extra dirt or debris, then maybe just wash that spot and not the whole thing, and then just try to get it out that way. So yeah, that's really my best advice for cleaning JB cases. I hope this helps you, and I hope it helps you to understand the differences between the cases, the removable and not removable interiors. Right now, all of our interiors are removable, so that's how we do it. And there you go. So thank you again for using JB cases, and I hope this helps you to keep your case clean and make you feel confident and good about our interiors and how they're protecting your queue. So again, if you don't want to build it yourself, jbcases.com. We'll be happy to do it for you. Thank you.